There are royal moments, and then there are moments that change everything. Most royal appearances follow a script. Every step rehearsed, every smile measured, every wave calculated. Cameras flash, crowds cheer. The monarchy moves like clockwork, predictable, controlled, disciplined. But just sometimes, something happens that no one can plan for. And during one recent royal appearance, something so small, so subtle, happened in a matter of seconds, yet it shifted the entire atmosphere of the event. All attention moved in one direction. Not toward the king, not toward the future heir, but toward a 7-year-old boy, Prince Louis. The child known for cheeky expressions, playful antics, and viral balcony moments suddenly did something no one expected, something so quiet, yet so powerful, that even King Charles appeared momentarily caught off guard. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't loud, but it carried weight far beyond his age, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it since. Before we go deeper into this moment and what it truly means for Louis's future inside the House of Windsor, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We break down royal history, hidden symbolism, and the real strategy behind the monarchy in ways you won't hear anywhere else. And trust me, this story only gets more fascinating. Because what Louis did wasn't just a gesture, it was a glimpse into the future. At just 7 years old, Prince Louis made a move that stunned everyone watching. In a moment that seemed almost instinctive, he bowed his head, deliberately, respectfully, with surprising composure. The cameras caught it, the crowd noticed, and even King Charles paused. For a child often associated with playful mischief and charming spontaneity, this was something different. This was awareness. This was understanding. This was a glimpse of royal gravity. And that's when people began to remember something important. Prince Louis isn't just a lovable child. He carries a title built on law, legacy, and royal calculation. When Louis was born on April 23, 2018, a town crier stood outside the hospital announcing the birth of Prince William and Catherine's third child. The official declaration named him His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Cambridge. But here's what many people don't realize. He wasn't automatically entitled to be called a prince. Under the original 1917 letters patent issued by King George V, only the children and male-line grandchildren of a reigning monarch were allowed to use the style His or Her Royal Highness. That meant great-grandchildren, like Louis at the time, would not normally qualify unless directly in line to inherit the throne. In simple terms, without a legal change, Louis would have been known as Master Louis Cambridge, not Prince. That changed in 2012. Queen Elizabeth II made a deliberate and historic decision. She issued new letters patent declaring that all children of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, meaning all of Prince William's children, would be granted the title of prince or princess from birth. That single decision reshaped Louis's identity before he even took his first breath. And that matters. Because in the monarchy, titles are never just decorative. They are positioning, they are strategy, they are destiny. Even his full name, Louis Arthur Charles, carries weight. Louis is widely believed to honor Lord Louis Mountbatten, the beloved uncle of Prince Philip and mentor to King Charles. Mountbatten's assassination in 1979 left a permanent emotional mark on the royal family. Arthur is a traditional royal middle name shared by both King Charles and Prince William, rooted in British myth and monarchy. And Charles is a direct nod to his grandfather, now King Charles III. Every piece of Louis's identity was chosen carefully. Nothing in royal naming is accidental. And that bow? That quiet lowering of his head? It suddenly felt symbolic. Because titles shape everything. Where he stands at events, how he is addressed abroad, where he sits at formal ceremonies, how he is treated in state matters, and more importantly, what is expected of him. From the moment the word prince was attached to his name, expectations followed. Now here's where things become even more interesting. Many royal watchers believe Prince Louis may one day inherit a title with enormous symbolic power, Duke of Edinburgh. Originally granted to Prince Philip in 1947, upon his marriage to Princess Elizabeth, the title became synonymous with duty, resilience, and public service. Philip didn't just hold it, he transformed it. Through the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme, he He impacted millions of young people in over 130 countries. He championed conservation, discipline, and long-term service before such causes were fashionable. When Philip passed away in 2021, the title eventually went to Prince Edward in 2023 as a lifetime appointment. And that's key. Lifetime. Meaning it will return to the crown. Which means the reigning monarch, possibly King William one day, will decide who carries it next. And if you look at the long game of royal planning, Prince Louis fits the pattern. Not the heir, not the spare to the heir, but the younger royal who must carry visible purpose. The Duke of Edinburgh title has historically gone to individuals trusted to carry weight publicly and privately. And what we witnessed in that brief bow, that small composed gesture, made people ask a new question. Is Louis already being shaped for something greater? Because here's the truth about the House of Windsor. It is not just a family. It is an institution engineered for survival. Created officially in 1917, when King George V changed the family name from the German Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to the more English Windsor, the royal house has endured world wars, scandal, abdication, tragedy, and transformation. Prince Louis is not simply a child growing up in palaces. He is growing up inside a machine built on legacy. Through his father, Prince William, heir to the throne, Louis is directly tied to the future of the monarchy. Through Princess Diana, he carries the emotional DNA of the Spencer legacy, independence, empathy, and public warmth. And through Catherine, Princess of Wales, born Kate Middleton, he embodies something rare in royal history: modern balance. Catherine brought relatability into the institution. A middle-class upbringing, a small family business, public schools, a steady, calm presence. Her children don't appear robotic or rehearsed. They appear loved, secure, grounded. That balance may become Louis's greatest strength, because unlike Prince George, who carries the unavoidable weight of kingship, Louis occupies a unique and delicate space. He will never be first in line, but he will always be visible. And visibility inside the monarchy comes with responsibility. The bow we saw that day wasn't just a sweet moment. It was a signal, a glimpse of awareness, a flash of discipline, a reminder that even the youngest Windsor understands the weight of history. And if that was just a small preview of what's coming, then Prince Louis may be far more central to the monarchy's future than anyone predicted. But this is only the beginning, because in Part 2, we're going to explore what insiders are quietly saying about Louis's education, his preparation behind palace walls, and whether royal strategy is already positioning him for a role far bigger than the public realizes. Stay with us, because this story is just getting started. He's serious, focused, and already beginning to understand what it means to lead. Prince George carries himself with the quiet awareness of someone who knows his future is mapped out before him. Princess Charlotte stands confidently between her brothers, often appearing as though she's the one gently keeping everything in order. She's steady, observant, and quick to step in when Louis begins to test the limits. And then there's Louis, the wild card, the one who dances during royal events, pulls exaggerated faces during parades, and makes the public laugh at moments no one expects. But that playful spirit should never be mistaken for a lack of understanding. Louis knows exactly where he stands in the family, and more importantly, he knows he is deeply loved. He isn't growing up in his brother's shadow, he's growing up alongside him, with a role that is quietly being shaped into something uniquely his own. Prince Louis's title wasn't handed to him by accident. It was the result of a long chain of royal decisions influenced by politics, war, and shifting social norms. When King George V issued the letters patent in 1917, limiting who could carry royal titles, the decision seemed straightforward at the time. But decades later, those same rules created ripple effects. By the time Queen Elizabeth II welcomed great-grandchildren, many of them were not automatically granted princely titles. This included Prince Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet. Their absence from the official list of titled royals sparked public debate. Why were some children styled as princes and princesses while others were not? Was it birth order, tradition, politics, or something more sensitive? The questions resurfaced every time the family appeared in the spotlight. Queen Elizabeth eventually addressed the issue in her own way, issuing new letters patent to modernize the structure. At the same time, the laws around succession were evolving, allowing daughters equal rights to the throne. It made sense that titles would reflect that shift. So Louis, though born third in line among William's children, entered the world as Prince Louis of Cambridge from birth. But the story doesn't stop there. Now that King Charles III sits on the throne, he has openly expressed his vision for a slimmer, more focused monarchy. A streamlined royal family with fewer working members and more concentrated public roles. In practice, that has meant reducing certain public-facing duties and leaving some titles unassigned or delayed. Future decisions, including whether Louis's own children will one day receive royal titles, are no longer automatic. Everything now depends on how the monarchy continues to evolve and what Charles, and eventually William, believe is necessary for its survival. In 2022, during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, Prince Louis became an unexpected breakout star. What was meant to be Queen Elizabeth's final grand celebration shifted in tone the moment Louis stepped onto the Buckingham Palace balcony. As aircraft roared overhead, he covered his ears dramatically. He wiggled in his seat. He pulled exaggerated expressions. He pretended to drum along with the music. In a sea of formal uniforms, composed waves, and perfectly staged appearances, his unfiltered reactions stood out like a spark of electricity. The world watched, amused and charmed. Within minutes, photos of Louis went viral. Social media didn't mock him, it embraced him. He became a meme in the most affectionate sense. For a brief moment, the monarchy didn't feel distant or formal. It felt like any other family trying to manage a restless child during a long ceremony. Catherine's response during that event was equally powerful. Rather than reacting with frustration or embarrassment, she leaned in close, calmly guiding him through the moment. She didn't scold harshly. She didn't try to hide him from the cameras. She remained patient, warm, and composed. Her approach to parenting became a story of its own. Viewers praised her for striking a balance between firmness and empathy. It wasn't just Louis who stood out that day, it was the way his mother allowed him to be himself while quietly keeping him grounded. As time passed, other appearances showed a different side of Louis. At the traditional Christmas walkabout at Sandringham, he was seen politely shaking hands, smiling at well-wishers, and showing surprising composure for his age. During King Charles's coronation events, he appeared focused, even serious at times, walking with his family as though he understood the magnitude of the day. That didn't mean his energy disappeared. He remains the most expressive of the three siblings. But it demonstrated growth, a young boy learning how to balance playfulness with duty. Those who have met Louis often describe him as lively and full of spirit. There's a sparkle in his eye that reminds seasoned royal watchers of a young Princess Diana, spontaneous, charming, and slightly unpredictable in a way that draws people in. And that effect is powerful. Without making speeches or giving interviews, Louis has helped modernize the image of the royal family. People who might otherwise ignore formal royal engagements now tune in just to see what Louis might do next. He bridges a gap between centuries-old tradition and today's hunger for authenticity. In a family often defined by restraint, he brings spontaneity. But what happens when that free-spirited child grows into adulthood within an institution built on duty? As expectations begin to form around his future, another story unfolds behind palace doors. A new era of royal parenting. Prince William and Catherine are quietly rewriting the royal parenting handbook. Their approach is grounded in emotional openness, structure, and a conscious effort to give their children as normal a childhood as possible within extraordinary circumstances. One of the most noticeable shifts has been their openness around emotional well-being. William and Catherine have both spoken publicly about mental health and the importance of addressing emotions rather than suppressing them. In their household, feelings aren't ignored or dismissed. If something troubles one of the children, especially someone as expressive as Louis, it's discussed, not brushed aside. This marks a significant departure from the stiff upper lip tradition that once defined royal parenting. At the same time, warmth is balanced with structure. The Wales household is not without rules. Bedtimes are consistent, screen time is monitored, school responsibilities are taken seriously. Louis may be energetic and expressive, but he operates within clear boundaries. Friends close to the family describe a home filled with affection but also discipline. In public moments where Louis has grown restless, Catherine gently redirects him, firm yet composed. The children are allowed to be children, but there is consistency that keeps them steady. A major part of that structure includes time outdoors. The children are frequently seen playing sports, helping in the garden, and walking in the countryside. William and Catherine believe nature teaches resilience, calm, and gratitude for simplicity. It reflects Catherine's own upbringing and her deep commitment to early childhood development initiatives. Perhaps what stands out most is how present William and Catherine remain in their children's daily routines. Despite the demands of royal duty, they are known for personally handling school drop-offs and pickups. At school events, they blend in rather than dominate. Teachers and fellow parents have commented on the effort to ensure George, Charlotte, and Louis experience life without being overwhelmed by protocol. Louis may be the youngest, the most expressive, the most unpredictable, but he is also being raised within a carefully balanced environment of love, structure, and preparation. And as he grows, the world will continue watching, wondering how that wild spark will evolve within the weight of history that surrounds him. As Prince Louis grows, so does the evolving story of a royal family that feels more emotionally connected than ever before. His playful expressions, his spontaneous energy, his visible bond with his siblings remind people that behind palace walls there is laughter, structure, discipline, and love. And perhaps that is what makes this chapter of the monarchy so compelling to watch. The question now becomes deeper than titles or gestures. What does this shift in royal parenting truly mean for the future of the crown? Will George, Charlotte, and Louis grow up defined primarily by duty or strengthened by a deeper sense of self? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We always value your perspective. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the evolving story of the House of Windsor, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's much more ahead. Also, click the next video appearing on your screen. You won't want to miss what comes next.